Welcome back to Inside Texoma. We are talking about Fantasy of Lights today and the workshop that's coming up. You had mentioned that this has been an effort that's actually started a lot earlier this year through the summer repair campaign. Can you talk a little bit about what it costs to run this every year? I mean, I think people might be surprised at how much it really takes to make this happen.
It surprised me when I took over the project last year, but it runs us about $40,000 a year. So we try to raise $40,000 plus through our just regular solicitations for donations, but it's about $40,000 a season to run it all.
Wow. And you may think, why? What is the majority of that cost?
Well, you have to think about the electricity bill.
Yeah.
Okay. Obviously, the food to pay volunteers when we do other things. Also, the student workers at MSU who are also our security guards, I have to pay them. So there's just a lot of things that happen on site, such as other repairs that have to go on last minute. I mean, those parts are in the hundreds of dollars, almost to $1,000. So that $40,000, it goes through really quick.
And I'm sure the electricity bill, I mean, you're thinking about a month straight of these, displays
it's
running.
On, right.
Yeah.
They're on for, 5 or 6 hours a day. So it costs a lot to keep it going.
I can imagine. But you went, like you said, you took it a step beyond to make this possible for repairs this year.
Right.
And raised quite a bit of money.
We did. With the help of some of our donors of MSU and Fantasy of Lights, some of the families here in Wichita Falls, I was able to secure an extra $20,000 for the repairs that we needed to have done. And I started this back in March and April, getting the money secured. And then in May, Don Henschel, who's one of our theater professors at MSU and who has built other displays here for Fantasy Lights, he took it upon himself to fix the major displays, such as the Three Little Pigs, Cinderella, Santa's Workshop, Peter Pan, the Scrooge House. Those are just to name a few, but he fully restored them. Not just repainting, but restored, fixed the mechanics, cleaned them. You're talking like a full restoration. They look brand new, and it hasn't been done in over 30 years. And so, but it took all that money. We're still doing some other repairs through our MSU maintenance staff and some other kind people that are helping me with the repairs, but $20,000 worth of repairs. And it's all going to be used up every dime. So
the work he did has not been done ever, right?
We make repairs yearly, but you're talking more of one of those little things, things that you just try to patch up. We're talking about a complete restoration. Wow. Peter Pan is going to look the best it has in several years. It's going to work 100%. And some of the things people may not see because they're internal, but you'll notice it once you get out there. So,
I was going to say, will they be changes that maybe if you've gone every year, you'll notice?
If you've grown up at seeing Fantasy of Lights every year, you'll notice some of these smaller things, these behind the scenes.
That's pretty exciting.
Yeah.
And, that really says a lot about him. I mean,
Yeah.
this took
He's
him
great.
about a
He's
month,
great.
right, you said, to
He
do.
worked straight from, once school ended for MSU in May, he worked straight from May to June nonstop. And he had some help. Of course, he couldn't do it all by himself, but you're talking the summer heat in a warehouse. There's not much air conditioning, but he did it. And I checked up on him a couple times, and wow. I mean, just looking at him in the warehouse, they look great. So I know they're going to look good on Friday, December 7th. So
why did he feel this was important for him to spend his summer and doing this?
I think he has a personal investment in Fantasy Lights because he built some of those newer displays. And I've looked to him for guidance on how to fix things in the future. So he's really the go-to guy for our displays. And he does a great job. He's so creative. He's a theater guy, a theater craftsman. So he's got a lot of good ideas in his head. And so that's why we have him on board.
Now, what are some of the ones, in case people don't know, that he has created? Because that's pretty neat, to think that there's someone today who built some of the displays we're enjoying.
Right. Yeah, Peter Pan, the Three Little Pigs, the robot. Those are just, to name a few, some of the newer ones he's made. And hopefully with money permitting, we'll have him create a new one next year. So plans are in store for that.
Very exciting. So that's another reason why, of course, donations are so important, right? Because that can't happen without those funds.
It's expensive. Like I said, it costs $20,000, and we're not even done with the repair campaign. We still have some other repairs, some of the figurines, the little things that need to be fixed. We're still working on those, and hopefully we'll have them all done before we open this year.
Another one he did was Santa's Workshop, right? Which I know is a big favorite.
Santa in the Workshop is the one where it's got the elves working, and it's a lot of music going on. It's a busy display. But it's about, probably 8 years old, because it was built in '04 in honor of Mrs. Jan Thacker. And Blue Cross Blue Shield, thanks to them also, they are sponsoring that display this year. They adopted it. And Don made some repairs to that, more internal mechanics, just to keep it going and flowing smoother as a display. So we're excited that he fixed that as well.
Okay.
Peter Pan is the one he took pride in because he built that one.
Wow.
So he not only repainted it, but he redid all the figurines. The turntable works again. The alligator on the bottom hasn't worked in probably 3 or 4 years. It's working now.
Wow.
So it's going to look really neat this year.
It's going to be a lot of excited little kids.
A lot of excited little kids, yeah.
And adults
exactly,
out there.
Yeah, I'm excited
Yeah.
too. So, but he did a really good job. So a lot of thanks to Mr. Don Henschel for that.
Absolutely. Now, you know, a lot of people may think, you're looking at 40 plus 20, you know, that's a lot of money
It
here.
is a lot of money.
And a lot of time, of course, going into this. Why do you do it?
I think a lot of people that help with Fantasy of Lights, such as myself, we're just from Wichita Falls. I grew up coming and seeing it every year. I'm originally from Vernon, so I would drive an hour away during the holiday seasons to look at it. And it's just one of those things, it's like you're part of Wichita and you're giving back in a way, because you know a lot of kids come to this, memories are built from Fantasy of Lights, so you want to keep it going. And I don't think it'd be Wichita Falls without Fantasy of Lights during the holiday season. So
I couldn't agree more.
So
It's like a must, you know,
yeah.
you have to go out there.
New York has Rockefeller Tree, we have MSU Fantasy of Lights.
Absolutely, and it's just as big of a deal.
It's a big deal to
really
us. So
is.
yeah,
And
so we're very excited for everything new this year.
And I think you've shared this with us before, but I think it's interesting you said families who may live even out of state or down in South Texas.
Right.
What have you heard about them and their desire to come back?
Well, you know, you can tell Fantasy of Lights gets the public exposure because Texas Monthly has done an ad for us. I've had people donate as far as Ohio from the East Coast, all the way from the West Coast, LA, California area. I've seen donations coming in. All these are MSU alumni or Wichita Falls community members that have moved off but still have that tie here. So they know how important Fantasy of Lights is, but gosh, it's so important. We love it. You know, it's a community thing. So.
And it started with something that was just as big of a tradition and you know, a giving back to the community, because this family, you know, they put this on their lawn for the community to come by and enjoy for free, just to circle around, correct? So they can have something to enjoy.
Something to enjoy, and it's just grown in the years, and that's because that says something about the people of Wichita Falls. They're willing to donate and see something like this grow, just like all the other events in Wichita, Hotter Than Hell and some of the other things. Fantasy of Lights is no different. You know, Wichita Falls has some great hospitality and generosity.
Yeah,
So
I think we say that time and time again for Inside Texoma. It's just this community, and then, you know, the support that it really gives to things it's
because it makes
passionate
Wichita
about.
Falls stand out during the holiday season, Fantasy of Lights. So
Absolutely.
keep it alive.
Well, we need to take another quick break, but we're going to talk a little bit more about other new things this year and some things you can expect to see, so don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Inside Texoma. We've been telling you all about the Fantasy of Lights. You know, if you ever go out there, you may notice the little signs, and there's different company names on them, and that's sponsorships.
The adoption program that we have for Fantasy of Lights, each of those displays are adopted by either a Wichita Falls business or maybe a business from the surrounding area, or it's a family, a local family, or it's an organization in town. And each of them choose a display, and if it's open for adoption, we let them adopt it. And what I mean by adoption is basically you sponsor it, you give money to it. And the adoption levels are $250, $500, $750, and then $1,000. And whatever money they pledge goes to repairing that particular display.
Okay.
So it goes into the general fund, but then we allocate it, okay, this is for this display. So if there are any repairs that need to be made, we use that money. At the $250 and $500 adoption levels, that display is usually, you can have it for yourself, or depending on our situation at the time, sometimes we'll co-adopt it. We'll have two people adopt one display.
Okay.
But the best thing about it, if you're a family or a business or an organization, is you get that positive publicity.
Yeah.
You know, it shows to everybody else in Wichita Falls that you are, you know, giving back. And so that's what I tried. It's kind of a win-win for Fantasy of Lights and also the business or organization that donates. But all that money goes to repairs.
And like you said, something that's needed and necessary to make.
And we have several that need to be adopted
Okay.
right now at this moment. Wizard of Oz which is a big theatrical scene from the
big
Wizard
favorite.
of Oz. I mean, we all know Wizard of Oz. We have one that's called the Horse with Bear. It's a smaller display.
Okay.
It's a mechanical horse with some holiday animals, stuffed animals around it. And then also we have live Christmas trees, which people probably don't realize, but we have live Christmas trees that we buy through the Optimist Club of Wichita Falls. And so I'd like somebody to kind of help us with that cost as well.
Okay. So a lot of opportunities still to get involved with the touch-ups and the repairs this year.
Right.
And I know you can see it on your screen there, a look at the new logos that people can be on the lookout for.
We haven't changed. There hasn't been much change as far as branding and marketing in a while. And so I kind of took it upon myself. Let's give it a fresh new look. If we're looking at the displays becoming new, then we want to definitely fix everything else up. So I've decided to come up with the new logo, and so hopefully when people see it around Wichita Falls, they'll know, oh, that's Fantasy of Lights. So just kind of giving us a branding.
Absolutely,
deal.
getting that out there right now for everyone to start paying attention to. Now, talking about the big day, I know we're a little bit out, but just to get everyone ready and marking your calendars for December 7th, do it now. There's already plans. A list basically of what's going to be taking place already in the works.
If you came last year, we had live entertainment. The first night, it was basically our opening ceremony. We had Blue Cross Blue Shield out there giving away candy canes. The MSU band had a concert in Aiken Auditorium. And we also started something, I say it's new, but it was actually around back in the early days, but we have live entertainment coming back this year. So we have choirs coming. A lot of school choirs are coming out to sing. And we usually have those once or twice a week leading up to the week of Christmas.
And is there going to be a calendar maybe whenever we get closer to that date if there's a particular choir they want to hear?
Sure, I'll have programs available out on the MSU at the Fantasy of Lights display. I'll have them available, and then also we can make them available to Channel 6, so everybody will know. Yeah.
Sounds good, and that way you will know where to turn for the very latest for Fantasy of Lights.
That's right.
Something else that I think is a neat treat or neat touch that night, hot chocolate. And you think, well, hot chocolate, of course, hot chocolate.
It's cold,
but it's cold, exactly.
We want to have that. Usually what I try to do is try to carry on a tradition that Mrs. Burns had, and that's serving hot chocolate that first night, because it will get cold. And what I noticed last year, what was so funny about Fantasy of Lights is if it's not cold outside, not as many people come. But if it's freezing outside, everybody comes to Fantasy of Lights. And I guess that you just have to have the weather as part of the atmosphere. But yes, we will have hot chocolate. There's a lot of churches that are willing to go out there on a Saturday night during Fantasy Lights and donate food, free hot dogs and hot chocolate. There was even hot Dr. Pepper at one time.
Wow.
So I don't know about that, but it sounds good.
Yeah.
So, but see, that's just giving back, and putting some life to these displays, not just lights and moving characters, but having live entertainment, really making it a holiday tradition.
Absolutely, and something you can bring the entire family to as well.
Everybody can enjoy it from all ages. Some of the things I'm looking at doing new for this year is hopefully having kind of a holiday-inspired picture-taking booth, maybe having a sleigh, which was actually part of the original display on Clarinda, using that sled and maybe putting some Christmas trees behind and having a picture-taking booth so that families can kind of have something commemorative from Fantasy of Lights. So we're looking at doing that. I'm going to add some stuff to some of the current displays to give it even more of a new look, and just kind of seeing, just adding on where we can.
That sounds very exciting.
Yeah,
so a lot of great things to take advantage of. We look forward to it. Again, the big day, though, the big work day is coming up. That's Saturday, October the 6th. Just looking at, a little over 2 weeks out. And what are the hours again? 9
a.m. to 4 p.m. Lunch will be provided. And so I invite everybody to come out, the whole community. And we have a lot of people who have been out, and hopefully they'll come back as well, but would love to see some new faces too. Now, if for some reason, you're not able to lift a lot of heavy things or move things, are you still needed? I mean, there may be a lot of people who want to help. Just kind of, just a quick note to break down work days. The first few hours, we're just cleaning. Okay. Because the displays sit in storage, dust, we have a lot of wind and dirt around here in Wichita, so we're cleaning them. Getting really clean, and then the second half of the day is usually, okay, where can we paint? Where can we fix stuff? So we clean the first part of the day. So all you need is, and we provide all the cleaning materials, so all you need is a rag and, some soap and stuff, and we're ready to go. All right, can't beat that. Yeah. So sounds pretty easy and something a lot of people can do and get involved. That's right, very easy. Right. Well, thank you, Randy, and again, we want to thank you for joining us this morning, Texoma. As always, you can find out much more about the Fantasy of Lights and the upcoming workday on our website, newschannel6now.com. We will also
provide a link so you can watch this entire
Right.
show again,
Correct.
or send it to your friends and get them involved on our YouTube page. We hope you have a great day, Texoma. We'll see you back here next Sunday morning for another look.